I stood face to face with Ethan, my eyes blazing with determination as the sound of a ticking clock filled the air. "You're finished, Ethan," I said, my voice low and even. I thought back to how it all started, how my world was turned upside down when I discovered his infidelity, and how I'd spent months planning my revenge. My mind racing, I remembered the photo of Julian, meeting with the mysterious figure from the alley, and how I knew I had to uncover the truth. As I looked into Ethan's eyes, I saw a glimmer of fear, and I knew I was close to getting what I wanted. But I also knew that I was walking into a trap that could destroy everything I had worked for. I thought back to the meeting with the mysterious figure and how I had to choose between my desire for revenge and my need for self-preservation. "What are you talking about, Ava?" Ethan asked, trying to sound confident, but I could hear the doubt in his voice. I smiled, a cold, calculated smile. "You know exactly what I'm talking about, Ethan," I said. "Your little affair with Rachel, my best friend, you thought you could get away with it, didn't you?" Ethan's eyes darted back and forth, searching for an escape, but I had him cornered. "Ava, please, you have to listen to me," he said, trying to sound desperate. But I wasn't having it. I took a step closer to him, my eyes locked on his. "I've been listening to you for months, Ethan," I said. "I've been listening to your lies, your excuses, your empty promises, but now it's time for you to listen to me." I pulled out a folder full of documents, each one detailing a different aspect of Ethan's deceit. "You see, Ethan, I've been doing some digging, and I've found out all about your little scheme to cheat on me and destroy our business." Ethan's face turned white as he realized the extent of my knowledge. "How did you?" he started to ask, but I cut him off. "That's not important, Ethan," I said. "What's important is that you're going down and you're going to take everyone who helped you with you." I looked him straight in the eye, my voice cold and hard. "You're going to lose everything, Ethan. Your business, your friends, your family. You're going to be left with nothing." Ethan's eyes flashed with anger, and for a moment I thought he was going to attack me. But then, he seemed to realize the futility of his situation, and his shoulders slumped in defeat. "What do you want from me, Ava?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I smiled again, a cold, triumphant smile. "I want you to suffer, Ethan," I said. "I want you to suffer the way I suffered when I found out about your affair." As I looked at Ethan, I could see the fear in his eyes, and I knew that I had won. I had played him like a pawn, using his own deceit against him, and now he was going to pay the price. I turned and walked away, leaving Ethan to face the consequences of his actions. I knew that it was over, that my revenge was finally complete. But as I walked out of the room, I heard a voice behind me. "Ava, wait," Ethan said, his voice desperate. I turned to face him, my eyes cold and hard. "What is it, Ethan?" I asked, my voice dripping with contempt. "I just want to know why," he said, his eyes pleading. "Why did you do it? Why did you ruin me?" I smiled again, a cold, calculated smile. "I did it because you ruined me, Ethan," I said. "You ruined our marriage, our business, our lives, and now you're going to pay the price." I turned and walked away, leaving Ethan to face the ruins of his empire. As I walked out of the building, I felt a sense of satisfaction, of closure. I had gotten my revenge, and it had been sweet. But as I looked back at the building, I saw Ethan standing in the window, his eyes fixed on me with a mixture of anger and desperation, and I knew that it was really over. I had won, and he had lost. I took a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill my lungs, and I knew that I was free. I was finally free from the pain and the hurt that Ethan had caused me. As I walked away from the building, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I had gotten my revenge, and it had been worth it. I had taken back control of my life, and I had made Ethan pay for what he had done. I smiled to myself, feeling a sense of satisfaction and closure. It was over, and I had won. And as I disappeared into the crowd, I knew that I would never forget the lessons I had learned from my experience with Ethan. I had learned that revenge can be sweet, but it can also be costly. I had learned that the pursuit of revenge can consume you, body and soul. And I had learned that sometimes the best way to get revenge is to simply move on, to leave the past behind and start anew. But for now, I was just going to savor the moment, to enjoy the feeling of victory and closure. I was going to take a deep breath and let the cool air fill my lungs, and I was going to walk away from the ruins of Ethan's empire, knowing that I had gotten my revenge and it had been worth it. And as I walked away, I knew that I would always be ready for whatever came next, because I had learned to always expect the unexpected. The clock had finally stopped ticking, and justice had been served. Now it's time to turn the page and tune in next time to Cold Karma for a new story of betrayal, revenge, and justice in Bitter Legacy.